what were you saying, dude?
What's up, buddy? What's up, man? How's it going,
Man, I
dude?
watched the show yesterday. You were phenomenal, man. You were absolutely phenomenal. That was a great
Thank,
show, dude. And I never
thanks,
even
dude.
knew about Martin before I went and I saw your little announcement. I clicked on I typed his name in the search bar and I looked him up and everything, and it's very interesting stuff. And I didn't even know he existed, dude.
Yeah, he's like a legend, dude. I was so happy to go on there because you see like his quirky kind of behavior, and he's a little bit like uncouth. Um, I like
Yeah,
that, and he wanted me to come in hot because he knows how I am, and he gave me the platform to go in like that. He wanted me to come in and shake
yeah.
his viewers up a little bit, and I think it was good timing, because where I am right now. But yeah, dude, it was a pretty cool. It was a pretty cool experience. I love Martin, man. He's so quirky, right? He's such a weird, quirky guy, right?
Yeah, man. He was really funny. It's just like just to see you guys interact with each other was like it was a great show. Seriously, you guys were freaking funny, and you were like ripping the floor with all this great information, and just like I think I could have fallen off my chair maybe two or three times, just laughing, because it's just the way you guys were bringing it out there. Is like, guys, you guys are just killing it, man. I had a great
I,
time
pre-
watching it.
I appreciate that. Yo, what's up, Jimmy Shively? I saw you representing last night. Much love, bro. I appreciate that, man. You too, Truden Show. I appreciate the love, dude. I see all your comments, Truden. Just so you guys know, when I'm on a live streaming, I don't look at the comments, but I always go back afterwards and look. So, um,
Yeah,
thanks,
it's
Truden.
not easy to multi.
Yeah,
I'm horrible at multitasking, dude.
yeah,
So
yeah. Like if I'm on like a long stream with a bunch of people. Hey, Vividness. Vividness is my astral wife. She knows it. She's beautiful. Thank you, Vividness. I appreciate that about that show last night. Appreciate it.
wow,
Hey, Colorado. Nice to
I
see you. You got a lot of people. You got a lot of people here, OTW. And Sunkissed,
yeah, I'm
you
really
know I
happy to
love
see
you.
everyone.
Yeah. Um.
Everyone that's here is awesome, man.
So she wants to know this. Where she said, "Where is this? What is Martin?" If anybody wants to give her some info, let her know. Gone Girl 777. His name is Martin Liedtke. He's been around for a while. He's got a bigger channel. He's really interesting. He's really into flat Earth. He's one of the main flat Earth guys, and he's into mud floods and Tataria and the nature of this
Yeah,
realm. You know, that's why I had so much
goodness
fun on
for
his
putting it in the
show.
chat.
Yeah, because he really let me go, OTW. He really let me go to a lot of theoretical places, which is funny because everybody was so positive, but there was like three negative voices in the chat over and over again. So I kept looking at those people just to see, and it's funny, dude. Like they were calling me like a demon worshiper and demonic, but the funny part is OTW,
Are you
and you saw
serious?
the whole interview.
I didn't see
You saw the
those.
whole.
No, but I would.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I did, but I
dude,
didn't.
there was like, yeah,
Go
there
ahead.
was
No,
like
sorry, man. I don't want to cut you off.
sorry, there was like 800 people in there, so it was hard to see. The chats were flying by, but a couple of names I read. But I just wanted to point out it's funny because I come out talking, the way I do, and they call me demonic, but they didn't wait around to the end of the show where I referenced Jesus 3 different times and pretty much used his
Right.
words as, you know what I mean? Like it's just so ironic where that energy comes from, like they were just because I was maybe talking about theories they never heard of, they had to label me with something when in reality, like they totally missed my whole point.
Yeah.
But the outpouring of love and support was like overwhelming. And, I appreciate you being there, man. I saw you in there, dude. And I appreciate that, man.
I didn't chat much in the chat, but I watched the whole thing, man, from beginning to end there. Well, actually, just like I had watched a part where he was doing his presentations, but I had to work too at the same time, so it's kind of a little hard to stay and watch because in the evening between 5 and 7 I go deliver, so I'm popping in and out of the restaurant in my car, and so I couldn't really. So, but
Yeah.
as soon as I had a few minutes to myself, I hit the freaking play button and I watched it right through, man. It was freaking phenomenal. I was
Yeah.
like, man, you hit
It's
home runs
interesting.
there. Was you hit the ball out of the park so many times, man? It was crazy. You know,
Oh,
but
what Vividness say about Irwin? Go back to what Vividness 420
yes,
just
yes.
said. She said something about Irwin because that's what I was talking about. She said, "Don't mind Irwin. He's always a poop like that." Yeah, I would love to talk to him, Vividness, because he was hitting me hard. But like, you're right. I wasn't minding him because he thinks I'm a newbie and he thinks he knows more than me, but he doesn't understand. I'm way more advanced than him. Like way more advanced. He just doesn't understand it. Like, OTW. Like
Well,
people might not
obviously
know
he
it.
doesn't
Like,
understand it.
yeah, like Martin and
I
I.
fucking know. That's for sure. I know, man.
Martin and I pretty much laid down what's probably the closest thing that's ever been said to the actual fabric of reality. Like, you know what I mean? Just people don't understand it. Like when we say everything's water and consciousness, like it's way over people's heads. So I don't expect them to understand,
Yeah.
I keep seeing vividness popping up. You missed it. I was on a stream yesterday and I pretty much was fantasizing about Vividness 420 being my wife in the astral realm. Um, I know it makes no sense,
You're
but
nuts.
yeah. Uh, but yeah, dude. And you know what, man? It's like we said, OTW. Like, there's some kind of energy. There's some kind of groundswell that's happening right now with this moment where all these diverse people seem to be coming together. And although we all, of course, don't believe in the same things, we realize we have a commonality because we're outsiders with the system, right? And
Exactly.
I think that's something that we can really all get behind with each other. Is that no matter what our differences are, what your religion is, you know, the fact that we're kind of like the outcasts should give us something to bond us, right? Um,
Well, it would be the culminating factor, like the common ground for everyone to reunite on. You know,
yeah,
I've been
man.
watching you, dude, and everything you've been saying, dude. It's like you're so well schooled, man. It's like, wow, man. It's like, what was your job before, if you don't mind me asking? What was your job before you decided to do YouTube videos, and or if it's still your job or not? I don't know. I'm, like, don't know
So
much about you, bro.
I was talking a little bit about this yesterday on Voynix channel. It's funny. I popped in like literally 5 seconds after you popped out, and Ian popped on. So there's some people here that probably. She said epic stream with Buck and Jim Bob. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Vividness. That was fun. But anyway, OTW. I was talking about this yesterday. I don't open up and talk about it too much, but since I talked about it on Brian's stream, I don't mind talking about it again here. But I was I'm a doctor of audiology, so I'm an audiologist. Okay, which
I
means I
knew it,
special.
man. I knew you were a doctor or something, man.
Yeah. So I'm a
I knew it.
I'm a
Go
doctor
ahead.
of
Sorry.
audiology. So I was practicing in a pediatric hospital, a major pediatric hospital in Delaware, and I was the supervisor of the program. So not only was I a practicing doctor of audiology, but I was supervising 12 other doctors of audiology. So what we do is we diagnose and treat hearing loss. So if there's a little kid with hearing loss, we diagnose it and then we treat them. Usually the treatment involves prosthetic type devices like hearing aids, cochlear implants, other types of bone conduction devices. So I was in that whole
Wow.
world, dude. I was living in that world, and COVID hit in 2020. And dude, they shut down the pediatric hospital for 8 months, dude.
Holy shit.
For this bullshit. Only emergency. So if there was like an inpatient or an emergency, we'd have to see him. But all the regular patients, what you call outpatient or ambulatory care, was closed down. That means all my patients. Remember, I was a supervisor of the program. They're all my patients, every one of them. I knew every
Wow.
one of these kids, and for 8 months they had no access to our services. So if you're a little kid and you have what's called a cochlear implant, which means you're dependent on that device to hear anything, they're completely deaf. For those 8 months, if those kids had a problem, they had no services. So if you're a little child who's developing speech and you're 6 years old and your cochlear implant breaks, you couldn't come to me and I couldn't fix it. So you're a little kid who couldn't hear for months on end. And you can imagine how furious I was at that situation. And I stayed there, and when everybody was home during the pandemic, I went in there every day. But I'll make a long story short, dude. They rolled out the Jamba Juice that goes in your arm, and my job was basically, I had a choice to make. Take the tyranny to keep my job, or walk out the door. Well, that's what I did, OTW. I walked out the door.
Oh my
All
God,
right.
man.
After that happened,
Holy
my wife,
shit, man.
after that happened, my wife, who was a nurse and bought into the whole thing, left me and divorced me. Okay. I
No
was left with
way.
nothing. I went from being a successful professional performing at a doctoral level in a major pediatric institution to no home, no job, and no wife. All right. So when you see me, OTW, in the fire that I have against the system, that story maybe helps you understand it a little bit, you know?
Yeah, well, I think it does now, man.
Yeah.
Even more so than ever, man. I so feel you, dude, man. You give me goosebumps, man. It's like, wow, what a story, man.
Yeah.
Fuck
Thanks,
me, man.
Truden Show. I appreciate that. I don't tell Truden Show. I don't tell too many people my story. It's out there. That's why I don't mind telling it. But you know, I'm telling OTW and people here because I feel like a good energy over here. So I feel like opening up over here. So you know what's funny, OTW and Truden? It's like I only started opening my mouth about 6 to 8 months ago. I don't remember. And it just started with me calling into Brian Staveley's show. And that's all. And as I'm becoming more, let's say, known and people are listening to me, more and more, like OTW, like I got divorced and laid off and lost my house too, man. Same time frame. I'm sorry to hear that, Truden. I'm sorry to hear that, dude.
I've been through the same. We're in the same boat, guys. I've been married, divorced twice, and my last ex-wife was a demon. So, I mean, and I'm not gonna, I'm gonna say it out here because she really was, and I don't care what anybody else thinks. She's a fucking bitch. There you go, man.
And you're entitled to say that. It doesn't mean all women are like that. You're just expressing yourself about your ex-wife. Man. That's okay, man.
Just her.
Yeah, so but so that's kind of like.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, she probably. I mean, here's the thing, man. Like, I'm starting to realize that, like, because I've been called a shill more times in the last 2 days than I can't even imagine. If they only knew the truth, like that quote unquote studio that these people think I'm like broadcasting from is the basement that I live in. You know what I mean, dude? Like, when you saw me last night, OTW, like 2 feet to my right is the hammock that I sleep in every night, brother. You know what I'm saying, Holmes? Like,
I know, dude.
These people are laughable, man. They do know, like, they just want to make accusations. They do know my history is very easy to find. You can see where I went to school. You can see what my job was. Like, there's no hiding my history. I show my face. You know what else is funny, OTW? All the people that I'm noticing that are the biggest critics, you never see their face. They never show their face, bro. You know?
That's true.
So I don't want to focus on the haters, but honestly, it's such a phenomenon that, like, I'll have 100 people tell me how much they appreciate my words, and then 2 people will be harshly critical, and I just hear the echoing of those 2 people.
Oh, that's funny. You shouldn't focus on that, though. Seriously, I got one comment that I still remember, actually, but it's I try to like leave it out of my mind. But one guy comes up on the video that I did with your rant or your speech. Well, some guys go, well, that's bad editing, and he's not saying anything, and it's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo, and so I just deleted the comment. I didn't even answer. I was like, why would I waste energy to these, answering to that, Even if when I read it, I got triggered, but that's something you got to work out. You have to say, okay, no, wait, I'm getting triggered. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, just delete the comment. Don't focus on that. Focus on like the 17 other super positive comments that you were given. You know, why give any credence to that freaking moron that that said that comment? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like the multitude and the masses are over like they overtake whatever negative comment that someone could make, because obviously they're in the minority, and what that person thinks has not really any relevance because the majority thinks otherwise.
that's exactly right. And dude, the last week of my life, man, I've had people all over the world contacting me, just thanking me for speaking much what I think is true. It doesn't mean that, like when me and you get up here, dude, like we're not getting up here saying we know everything, right? And we have it all figured out. That's not what we're saying, dude.
Not at
We're
all.
just, we're just speaking. We're just giving our thoughts and our take on things, man. And that's it. What's Sally saying? Yeah, I lost 150 home, my job, family split all at once. Worst shit ever. Swear. I'm sorry to hear that, Sally. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that
Yeah,
sucks like shit, man.
you know.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, dude. But because
See, that's a nice comment. See the positive energy, man. Look at that.
True Warrior. Thanks, Jimmy. I appreciate that, man. I
Yeah,
appreciate that, dude. Just it's all about discernment, really. You know, it's all about discerning. What people's words are. If you don't like what someone's saying, you don't have to listen to them. That's the nice part of everything.
exactly.